It's good to see your face. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, Eileen. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing really well. And I'm not going to tell you look great because that must be the thing everybody says to you right out of the box.
I love to hear it. Come on, Eileen.
Right.
Just tell me one time.
You look marvelous.
Thanks.
Harpo Productions, a wonderful, viable production company owned by you. Tons of material to choose from, and you choose this special and this subject matter of Peggy G's murder. Why?
Because I wanted people to know that life means something, that every statistic you read about in the paper, somebody being murdered, somebody dying a tragic death, that behind that number is a name and a life. And that for every family that has to deal with the loss of that person in their lives change. They're never the same. And even if it is not a tragic death, whatever problem has occurred in your life or will occur, whatever feeling of victimization you might have about your own life, by watching the Russell family, which, you know, they're just normal folks. They just live their lives every day, just like everybody else out there carpooling. They, to me, represent what the American family is. And I wanted people to see themselves and understand that life means something, and let's take a look at what that means while we're living.
And also, I would think, from knowing a lot of people who have been victimized and the incredible frustration that they feel in this vindication you just mentioned, that you probably will satisfy something in people watching. Do you think so?
I hope so. I hope so. I really do, because there's this feeling as a victim that you never get revenge, and there's no way you can ever get revenge. And in many ways there is not. And what this piece is trying to say is that we are all a part of each other and that no one ever dies alone.
Give us a little bit of Peggy G's murder. What happened to her that makes this such an extraordinary story?
Well, it's extraordinary in that it's the kind of crime that happens all of the time, but nobody pays attention to, because it's just, you know, nobody knows Peggy G. They don't know Peggy G from the woman next door, or whoever will be tonight's statistics on tonight's newscast. What happened to her was that she lived her life and tried to do the best she could, was a working woman, and was stalked, absolutely stalked by a murderer. I ended up talking to the murderer and the murderer's family, who had no idea when they were sending him to Catholic school, when they gave him his first car at 16, when they were, you know, carpooling and taking family outings, that they were raising a murderer. And that's what's really, I think, interesting to me about the story, is it shows that there's a common bond in the entire human experience. It really is fascinating to me.
There is, and I'm not going to compare losing weight with this horror of no one dies alone, but I must ask you, there is a common bond in all of us who fight this constant battle with weight, and I am one of them,
Lord,
that really feel good about the courage that you had in sticking to this thing and getting it done. What can you do 67 pounds lighter that you couldn't do 67 pounds heavier?
I dance better, Eileen. I'm a much better dancer now. Well, actually, I feel better in my body. I move differently in the body. And I've been feeling this, you know, personally, but then we, on the show, brought out the 67 pounds of fat. When you look at it, I understand why I feel better and move better. My God!
You're also much more in control of yourself now in a lot of ways, aren't you? Do you feel that?
Absolutely, because for me, the diet was not, I didn't know I was going to look this good.
You do.
For me, the diet was not about getting to a size 8. It was about getting control of my life. I felt like an addict. I felt, you know, all these people I have on my show and I interview who strung out on alcohol and can't stop smoking, and I'd say, oh, I can't believe them. I realized I was no different than those people, and that is what has changed about me. Control!
You're an inspiration, lady.
Thank you.
And I love you, and I love what you do, and I'm really glad to finally have a chance after all these years to look at your face and talk to you one-on-one. If you get to Boston, will you come in the studio? Could we count on that someday?
You can count on it. If I get to Boston, I will come to the studio.
That'd be great, Oprah. You take care. Everyone's looking forward. Okay, No One Dies Alone, December 1st, 8 to 9, here on Channel 5, Thursday night. We will not be missing it, and I thank you, Oprah.
Thank you.
All right. Oprah Winfrey.